All right, here we go. You. So, what? All right. So we have no idea what this means, and even the historian who is writing it down, who discovered the histories, is calling it apocryphal, meaning I'm not sure that should include this in the authentic history of Don Quixote because all of his other sallies, all of his other adventures seemed at least somewhat plausible, but this one takes the cake. This one's it's just out there.
I have a question.
Yes.
This goes a little bit back to which did you read our paragraph?
Yes.
Which one did you think like represented?
I should give this back to you. So Bridget's asking if we go back to the lions and what did that mean? Who represented it the best? That's your question.
Not which one of us, but what do you like instead of right among things?
No, there was no right or wrong answer. We don't come in. We don't honestly know what he was doing, but the idea of going to face something that is terrifying and everybody knows is terrifying, and the odds of winning that battle are like zilch. And yet he did it without even being asked to. It seems to me that sort of has something to do with death, or people said like facing your sinful nature and saying, okay, I've got to get a rein on this. All of those are, I can see that in the Christian life, you get to this point where you're even going to be taking on things you're not asked to take on. And it was his willingness that gave him the victory, really. But as for this dream sequence, we don't know. I don't know what Cervantes is saying, and he's even saying, I don't even know if I should have included this because it through his narrator, he's like, this history might be off. Everything else seemed plausible. This doesn't even seem plausible. It's not very helpful, I don't think. Okay, so they get to the inn, and so now they're with the young guy that they met on the road, and they followed the other guy to the inn. We are page 629. Guys, we're gonna have to move it because we have 3 weeks. That's no. Gotta get to page 900. That we're supposed to be doing 20 pages a day, but I'm not making you read ahead, but we might have to get done with this book because Faust is waiting for us. Chapter 25, The Adventure of the Braying and the entertaining meeting with the puppet showman, together with the memorable prediction of the prophetic ape. Your turn to read.
Yeah. This is my fifth spam call today.
Give it.
That's right. This is a voicemail.
It's a voice.
Yeah, I missed the call.
Oh.
And it's from like 3 different places, New York, North Carolina, and
Why don't you turn your phone off for a little bit?
I did.
You should.
Oh, what page?
Yeah, read well. Page 629. Or the arms carrier, that's who it was that he wanted to talk to, and then he followed to the end.
Don Quixote stood upon thorns, as the saying is, to hear the wonders which had been promised him by the arms carrier. So he went to the stable to look for him, and on finding him demanded that he should immediately give them the promised answer to their questions on the road. I can't tell you the tale of my wonders standing up, replied the man. I must have leisure. Let me finish giving my beast his fodder, good sir, and I'll tell you something that will astonish you. Do not let that hinder you, answered Don Quixote, for I will help you. And so he did, sifting the barley and clearing out the rack, a humble service which induced the man more willingly to tell him what he wanted to hear. So, sitting down on a stone bench with Don Quixote beside him, and with the scholar, the page, Sancho Panza, and the innkeeper for senate and audience, he began after this fashion. Your worships must know that in a place about 14 miles from this inn it happened that an alderman lost an ass, though a decent
True.
through a decent through a deceitful trick of a servant maid of his. But that's a long story. And although this alderman made every possible effort to find him, he could not. A fortnight must have gone by, so the story goes, since the ass was missed. When, as the unfortunate alderman was standing in the marketplace, another alderman of the same town came up to him and said, "Reward me for my good news, friend. Your ass has turned up." "That I will gladly, friend," replied the other. "But tell me, where's he turned up?" "I saw him this morning on the mountain," answered the finder, "without a pack saddle or gear of any kind, and so lean that he was a pitiful sight. I wanted to catch him and bring him to you, but he is so wild and shy now that when I got up to him, he ran off into the thickest part of the wood. We'll go back together to look for him, if you like. Just let me take this she-ass home, and I'll come straight back." "That will be doing me a great kindness," said the man who had lost his ass. "I'll try to repay you in the same coin." Everybody who knows the truth of the matter tells the story with these details, just as I am telling it to you now. To be brief, the two older men went off to the mountain on foot and hand in hand. But when they got to the exact spot where they had expected to see the ass, they could not see him, and they couldn't discover him anywhere in those parts for all their searching. Seeing then that he was not to be found, the alderman who had seen him said to the other, "Look, my friend, I've just thought of a plan by which we shall certainly discover the animal. Even if he's hidden in the bowels of the earth, not to mention the mountain, it is this. I can braid to perfection, and you can do a little in that line. Why, it's as good as done." "A little, you say, friend," said the other. "Goodness me, I'll take odds of nobody, not even of the asses themselves." Now we'll see," replied the second alderman. "For my plan is that you shall take one side of the mountain and I the other, and we'll make a complete circuit of it. And every few yards you'll bray and I'll bray. The ass can't fail to hear us and find us if he is on the mountain." "I think that's an excellent plan," replied the owner of the ass, "and worthy of your great mind." Then they separated as agreed, and, as chance would have it, both brayed almost at the exact same time. Now each of them was taken in by the other's bray and ran to look, thinking that the ass had just turned up. But when they met, the owner of the lost beast said, it is possible, friend, that it wasn't my ass that brayed. It was only I," answered the other. "Then let me tell you, friend," said the owner of the beast, "that the matter of the braying, there's another to, there's nothing to choose between you and an ass. For I've never seen or heard anything more natural in my life. Such praise and such com- compliments," replied the inventor of the plan, "apply more fittingly to you than to me, friend. For by God, my maker, you can give me odds of two braids to the best and most skilled brayer in the world. Your tone's loud and your time correct, your note well sustained, and your cadence thick and fast. In fact, I acknowledge myself beaten, hand you the palm, and award you the colors for this rare accomplishment. I declare," replied the owner, "that I shall think more highly of myself from now on, and reckon I know a thing or two, seeing that I have a talent, for though I thought I could bray well, I never supposed I did it as perfectly as you say." "Let me tell you too," said the other, "that are these rare talents in this world wasted on the wrong men, who do not know how to make use of them. Ours," replied the owner, "are not of much service to us except in such a case as we have now on our hands. But now, please God, they may come in useful." I wish they separated once more and resumed their braying, but at every pace they made a fresh mistake and came back to one another, until finally they agreed on a countersign and uttered their rays two at a time, so that each might know that it is the other, not BS. It is this way, in this way, giving a double bray at every step, they made a complete circuit of the mountain without the lost ass replying by so much a sign. But how could a poor ill-fated beast have replied? For they found him in the thickest part of the wood, eaten by wolves. And at the sight of him, the master exclaimed, I was astonished myself that he did not reply, for he had been alive. For had he been alive, he would have brayed if he had heard us, or he would have been no ass. But I'm well rewarded for my labors in looking for him, even though I found him dead by hearing you bray so gracefully, friend. We're a fine pair, replied the other, for if the abbot signs, well, the little monk isn't far behind. With this, they returned to their village, this consoled and disconsolate and hoarse. And there they told their friends, their neighbors, and acquaintances their adventures in search of the ass, each exaggerating the other's gifts for braying. And the story leaked out and spread to the neighboring villages. Now the devil who never sleeps and loves to sow heartburning and discord broadcast, raising calumnies on the wind and grand chimeras out of nothing. So ordered it and that the people of the other villages, at the sight of anyone from ours, would immediately begin to bray, as if to throw our alderman's notable accomplishments in our faces. When the boys took it to all the demons in hell seemed to have joined in the sport, for the braying went on spreading from one village to another, till now the natives of our braying village are as well known and as easily distinguished as Negroes from whites. And this unlucky jest had gone so far that very often the moth had gone forth with arms in their hands in regular formation to do battle with the mockers. And King Orbruk, fear not shame, had been strong enough to prevent it. Tomorrow or the next day, I believe the people of my village, the Brayers, the Brayers, are to take the field against another village about 6 miles from ours, one of our worst persecutors, and to be well prepared for them, I have brought the lances and halberds you saw. These are the marvels I promised to tell you, and if they don't seem wonderful to you, I know no others.
Okay, do you see what happened?
Yeah.
I don't know why he's telling us this story, but except that isn't this exactly the way it goes at our house? Where we've got nicknames for each other, the boys have nicknames for each other, and then they say the nicknames, and then it's funny. But then other people in the house start saying the nicknames, and then the kid gets mad. It's like, I don't like that nickname. And then pretty soon in the car, one kid says the nickname, and the other kid's coming over the seat and pounding on him. Stop calling me that. This is exactly what this is. Okay, what happened? Now we've got lances. We're gonna fight.
I lost where I was.
No. Would you like someone else to read?
Yes, please.
Oh, Ryan, statement.
With that, the good fellow ended his tale, and just then there came through the outer door of the inn a man all dressed in chamois leather, hose, breeches, and doublet, crying in a loud voice, Master landlord, have you any room? For here come the fortune-telling ape and the puppet show, the releasing of Melisandre. Good heavens, exclaimed the landlord, here's Master Peter, we shall have a great night of it.
Whoa, no, we've met Master Peter before, the last time we had the puppet show. Have we heard of Master Peter? I feel like we have. No, all right, continue.
I forgot
I think we have. Because I remember reading it.
Yeah, didn't we? Keep going, I'll try to find it.
I forgot to say that this Master Peter had left his left eye and was half his cheek covered with a green silk patch, which showed that there was something wrong with all that side of his face. Your worship is welcome, Master Peter, the innkeeper went on to say, but where are the ape and the puppets? I don't see them. They're not far off, replied the man, chamois leather, but I came ahead to find out if there was room. I would turn out the Duke of Alba himself to make room for Master Peter, said the innkeeper. Bring the ape and the puppets, for there are people in the inn tonight who will pay to see the show, and the ape's talents as well. Very good, answered the man with the patch. I'll reduce the price and be content with my bare expenses, and now I'll go back and bring in the cart with the ape and the show in it. Then Don Quixote inquired of the innkeeper who this Master Peter was, and what the show and the ape were he bought with him. And the landlord replied, he's a very famous puppet player, and he's been traveling around this Aragonese side of La Mancha for some time, showing a play about the releasing of Melisandre by the renowned Sir Gayforos. It is one of the finest and best acted shows we've seen in this part of the kingdom for many a year. He has an ape with him too, with the rarest talents an ape ever had or a man imagined. If you ask him anything, he'll listen to what you say. and then jumps onto his master's shoulder and tells him the answer in his ear. And Master Peter repeats it at once. He says more about what's happened then, about what's to come, and although he isn't always right in everything, in most cases he's not mistaken, which makes us believe he has the devil inside him. He charges 2 reals a question. If the ape replies, if his master replies for him after he's whispered in the ear. So Master Peter's generally supposed to be extremely rich. He's a gallant man, as they see in Italy, and a boon companion, and he leads the grandest life in the world. He talks more than 6 men and drinks more than 12. It's all at the expense of his tongue, his ape, and his puppet show. At this time, Master Peter came back, and in the cart came to show him the ape, which was big and tailless, with buttocks that like felt, but not ugly in the face. As soon as Don Quixote saw him, he asked, "Tell me, you master fortune teller, what fish do we catch? And what is it? And what is to become of us? See, here are my 2 reals." And he bade Sancho give them to Master Peter, who replied for the ape, "Sir, this animal doesn't answer or give information about things to come. About the past he knows something, and about the present a little." "I swear I wouldn't give a farthing to be told what's happened to me in the past," cried Sancho, "for who could know it better than I do myself? And for me to pay to be told what I know already would be mighty foolish. But seeing that he knows the present, here's my 2 reals. Tell me, excellent ape, what my wife Teresa Sponda is now doing, and how she's amusing herself." Master Peter refused to take the money, saying, "I don't want to receive payment till the service has been rendered." Then he slapped his left shoulder twice with his right hand, and with one spring the ape jumped up, next putting his mouth to his master's ear. He gnashed his teeth very rapidly together, and after keeping up this chattering for the length of a fail, jumped with another spring to the ground, and then without a moment's delay, Master Peter hastily threw himself on his knees in front of Don Quixote and embraced his legs, exclaiming, "I embrace these legs as I would embrace the twin pillars of Hercules. O illustrious reviver of the now forgotten order of knight errantry! O never sufficiently praised Don Quixote de la Mancha, raiser of the faint-hearted, prop of those about to fall, arm of the fallen, staff and consolation of all the unfortunate." Don Quixote was astonished, Sancho bewildered, and the scholar amazed, the page astonished, the brave townsman boxed, and the landlord perplexed. In short, all his hearers were dumbfounded at the words of the puppet showman, who continued, "And you, good Sancho Panza, the best squire, the best knight in the world, be of good cheer, for your good wife Teresa is well, and at this very hour she's combing a pound of flax, and to prove what I say, on her left she has a broken mouth pot, which holds a good drop of wine to cheer her at her work." "I can well believe that," replied Sancho, "for she's a blessing, and if she weren't jealous, I wouldn't swap her for the giantess Dona, who is a very excellent and worthy woman, according to my master. My Teresa is of the sort who don't go short of anything, even if their heirs have to pay for it." "Now I declare," exclaimed Don Quixote at this point, "that he who reads much and travels much, sees much and learns much. What amount of persuasion it would have taken to convince me that there are apes in the world with the power to divine, as I have just seen with my own eyes there are. For I am the same Don Quixote de la Mancha that this good animal has spoken of, though he has been somewhat too liberal in my praise. But whatever I may be, I thank heaven for endowing me with a mild and compassionate nature, always inclined to do good to all and ill to none. If I had money," said the page, "I would ask Master Ape what will happen to me on the journey I am taking." To which Master Peter, who had got up from Don Quixote's feet, replied, "I've already said that this little beast doesn't foretell the future, but if he could, your not having money wouldn't matter. For to serve Don Quixote, who is here present, I would forego all the profit in the world. And now, because I am in his debt, and to give him pleasure, I will set up my puppet show and give everyone in the inn a performance free of charge." The innkeeper was immeasurably delighted at this offer, and pointed out a place for him to set up the show, which he did in a moment. Now Don Quixote was not very satisfied with the ape's prophecy, for he did not think it right for an ape to divine either future or past events. So whilst Master Peter was arranging his puppets, he took Sancho aside into a corner of the stable, out of the hearing of the company, and said to him, "Listen, Sancho, I have thoroughly pondered that ape's extraordinary talents, and, as I see it, there is no doubt that this Master Peter, his master, must have made a pact, implicit or explicit, with the demon." "If the pact's explosive and with the demon," said Sancho, "it'll certainly be a very dirty pact. But what's the use of the pact to this Master Peter? You do not understand me, Sancho. I only mean to say that he must have made some bargain with the devil, who has infused this talent into the ape so that he can gain his living by it. And when he is rich, he will give him his soul, for that is what the universal enemy is after."
Sorry, Do you understand the difference between pack and packed? A pack is like a pack of gum, right? A little pile of things, but a packed, P-A-C-T, is like a deal. So once again, Sancho gets the word wrong, but
This I conclude from the fact that the ape only answers questions concerning things past or present, for the devil's knowledge extends no further. He only knows the future by guesswork, and not always then. For to know the times and the seasons is reserved to God alone. For him there is no past or future, for all is present. And that being so, as it is clear that this ape speaks in the style of the devil, and I am astonished that he has not been denounced to the holy office and examined, and had it squeezed out of him by whose virtue he divines. For it is certain that this ape is no astrologer, and neither he nor his master casts, nor how to cast horoscopes, though they are so fashionable in Spain nowadays, that there is not a servant maid or a page or an old cobbler who does not presume to cast a nativity as easily as pick up a knave of cards from the floor, perverting the amazing truth of the science with their ignorant lying. I know of a lady who asked one of these horoscope casters whether a little lapdog bitch she had would fall with a pup and bear, and how many pups she would have, and of what color. To which Master Astrologer replied, which when he had cast the figure, that the bitch would fall and bear 3 puppies, one green, one scarlet, one speckled, always providing that she were covered between 11 and 12 o'clock of the day or night, either on a Monday or Saturday. And what happened was that 2 days later the bitch died of overeating. The master astrologer gained the reputation in the town of being a very accurate caster of a horoscope, a reputation which they mostly have. All the same, said Sancho, I wish, sir, that you'd ask Master Peter to ask his ape whether it's true what happened to you in Montesino's cage. For it's my opinion, begging your worship's pardon, that it was all fraud and fiction, or at least that you dreamt it. Everything is possible, answered Don Quixote. I will do as you advise, though I have certain scruples about it.
okay, hold on, just a small note. When you study astronomy, what is that?
How the stars and planets move.
The study of the stars and planets, and it's an ancient going all the way back to the Greeks, and we still do it today. But astrology is trying to use the stars and the horoscopes. Everyone knows what a horoscope is, yeah? There's 12 signs, one for each month. So
I thought
you're
it was
born
13.
under a certain sign, but one for each.
I thought it was evenly dividing the year. And it was 4 weeks for each.
Thomas says there's 13.
Okay.
I'm sure you're right. I don't know much about it because we're not supposed to. I know I'm Pisces. Yeah, it's like weird dates that you're born. Anyway,
Knows that if we had 13 months, everything would be even. So that's why I think it's divided into 13.
13. Okay, I'll buy that. Anyway, there's astrological signs and everyone falls under one of those signs in the sky during the month that you're born, or around the 30 days in which you're born. And from that they say certain people like Pisces are they give a characteristic that's general amongst people born in March. And I've met some Pisces and it kind of usually works out, but it's so general that you can apply it really to anyone. Anyway, astrology is messing with the stars in order to prophecy, in order to try to future tell, which you're not supposed to do. So the beginning part of that long paragraph was Don Quixote expressing the exact right Catholic teaching on the subject. But he's saying it's becoming very popular in Spain at this time to want to have the stars divinize and tell us things. And then after he says we're really not supposed to do it, then Sancho wants him to ask about the dream, and he's going to do it.
Here Master Peter came to look for Don Quixote, and telling him that this puppet show was now up, begged him to come and see it, for it was worth seeing. Don Quixote informed him of what was in his mind, and begged him first to ask his ape to say whether certain happenings in Montesino's cave were imaginary or real, for to him they seemed to partake of both. So without a word Master Peter went to fetch his ape, and put him before Don Quixote and Sancho, saying, Look you, Master Ape, this gentleman wants to know if certain things which happened in the cave called Montesinos were false or true. Then, at the customary sign, the ape leapt onto his left shoulder and apparently spoke in his ear, whereupon Master Peter immediately answered, The ape said that part of what your worship saw or experienced in the said cave is false and part true. And that's all he knows about this question. But if your worship wants to learn more, he'll reply to any inquiries made of him on Friday next. For his virtue is now exhausted and won't return to him till Friday, as he has said. There now, exclaimed Sancho, didn't I say you'd never make me believe that all you told us about the happenings in that cave, or even half of it? Events which showed Sancho into Don Quixote, for time which reveals all things, leaves nothing that it does not drag into the light of day, even things hidden in the bosom of the earth. But let this suffice for now, and let us go and see good Master Peter's show, for I think there will be some novelty in it. How some? Demanded Master Peter. This show of mine contains 60,000 novelties. I'll tell your worship, Don Quixote, that it is one of the rare spectacles in the whole world, but deeds, not words. Let's set to work, for time's drawing on, and we have a great deal to do, to say, and to show. Don Quixote and Sancho complied and went to the show, which was now set up and uncovered, and they found it looking gay and resplendent, being lit all around by a multitude of wax tapers. On their arrival, Master Peter got inside, as it was he who had to work the puppets in the play, and outside stood a boy, Master Peter's servant, to serve as interpreter and announcer of the mysteries of the show, holding in his hand a wand with which he pointed out the figures as they appeared. When everyone in the inn was in his place, some standing in the front of the show, and Don Quixote and Sancho, the page and the scholar, in the best position, the interpreter began to announce what the hearer or the reader of the following chapter would hear and see.
Okay, we're done for today. I'm thinking that probably over the Thanksgiving break, we're gonna have to read a little to make sure we get done in time. But let's see how
Do
far
we
we
have
get.
the whole week off for Thanksgiving?
We do. So after this Friday, then we have a whole week off, and then I'll see you in December.
For 2 weeks,
So this week and then next week and then December.
and then
We
for
come back.
December,
And
we
then-
have
When we come back, it's first Friday week, so we only have 4 days that week.
the next week, and then we're
And then 1 week, and then the following week, we go till Thursday is the last day.
3.
For 3 weeks, yeah. Yeah, we got some time coming off. Everybody needs it. Okay, see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Leo will be so proud. Okay.